Rappers are living proof that you can have everything you ever wanted in life and still lose it all in a blink of an eye. Because rap is one of the only industries where real street dudes can monetize off of telling the world about their dangerous lifestyles. And that's why, when you're out here really living what you rap, it's more than likely too late to go back, and your dark past will eventually come back to haunt you. This was certainly the case for Atlanta rapper Lil Baby. Growing up in the harsh streets of Atlanta, Baby's name became one of the biggest in hip-hop. But recently, he has been all over social media for the wrong reasons. The head of Georgia's police department has announced they are locking up Lil Baby and members of his crew, 4PF. After forming his rap collective 4PF in 2017, he has officially shut it down, as authorities allege 4PF is not only a rap label, but also a street gang involved in many criminal activities, such as murder for hire, with Lil Baby listed as the gang's leader. Similar to what's going on with Young Thug's YSL and Lil Durk's OTF crew, the Atlanta Police Department is calling out Lil Baby, saying his actions of recording a music video on the ops block led to the passing of 2 young individuals.
Grown men playing gangster that left 2 of our children in graves and a community in fear. And cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold and shoot a music video in a place that he knew he should not have been.
7 arrests were made that night, as the police claimed the incident was part of an ongoing gang war between 4PF and OMF. Now they're claiming that after Lil Baby was shot at, he and members of 4PF would spin the block to get revenge, which resulted in the death of OMF member Trevante Turner. While Lil Baby has not officially been charged with any crime linked to this event, it is highly likely the police are building a RICO case on 4PF as we speak, trying to get him off the streets, which could be fatal for his career. Once drill music hit New York, we would see a bunch of new crash-outs making waves in the scene. After dominating the New York drill scene and being crowned as the king of the Bronx, K-Flock basically carried Bronx drill on his back alongside his friends like Dougie B and B-Love. But on December 16th, 2021, things took a turn for the worst, possibly marking the end of the legacy K-Flock built over the years. K-Flock would post himself walking through Sugar Hill with his knocks in OY territory. Just moments after posting that video, he would walk down the street where he would be spotted by OY Waska. Waska would leave the barbershop confronting K-Flock, and without hesitation, K would let off shots, hitting Waska multiple times in broad daylight. Not long after, a warrant would be issued for his arrest, and K-Flock would eventually turn himself in. And if you thought that was bad, the situation took a wild turn no one expected. After 4 years of fighting the case, K would eventually beat the murder he was originally tied to, claiming self-defense, as when Waska died at the scene, cops would later retrieve a gun he was carrying at the time. Things were looking good, and fans celebrated, knowing their favorite rapper was finally coming home. This was until they decided to hit him with extra charges, finding him guilty on 5 out of 6 RICO charges. These RICO charges are serious and could land him in jail for the rest of his life. Another rapper who was arguably crowned as the king of New York before K-Flock ruined his career overnight. This was none other than the rainbow-haired internet gangster 6ix9ine. He rose fast in Brooklyn's underground rap scene, gaining attention for his aggressive, high-energy tracks while surrounded by real gangsters. But while his image screamed street, 6ix9ine wasn't really about that life. He made a dangerous move, aligning himself with the 9 Trey Bloods for street credibility, and in return, he gave them fame, money, and exposure through his growing platform. But behind the scenes, real crimes were taking place, robberies, shootings, and assaults all tied to the crew. In 2018, the FBI swept in. 6ix9ine was arrested along with several 9 Trey members on federal racketeering and weapons charges. He was facing 47 years to life. But he wasn't ready to throw his life away just yet. He ended up cutting a deal with the feds, testifying against his own crew, detailing everything from drug dealing to violent acts carried out by his associates. It was one of the biggest betrayals the streets had seen in years. The internet exploded after hearing this, and 6ix9ine quickly became a laughingstock, and nobody was on his side. After getting a drastically reduced sentence and walking free in 2020, his reputation never recovered. Rappers like Meek Mill, Lil Durk, and countless others publicly dissed him. The King of New York title he once claimed became a joke. The truth is, 6ix9ine's rise came with a price. He played gangster in front of the camera, but when real life kicked in, he folded and got exposed for it. 6ix9ine snitched to avoid a life sentence, but what happens when staying silent could cost you everything. Lil Durk, one of Chicago's most respected rappers, and arguably one of the biggest in hip-hop right now finds himself in a situation similar. In October 2024, Durk was arrested in Broward County, Florida, on charges related to a murder-for-hire plot. Prosecutors alleged that he paid for the killing of Quando Rondo, which ended in Lil Pab, the cousin of Quando Rondo, getting fatally shot in retaliation for the 2020 murder of King Von. The indictment claims that Durk ordered 5 members of his collective, Only the Family, OTF, to travel from Chicago to Los Angeles, using OTF-affiliated credit cards to pay for vehicles, hotels, and burner phones to track their target. Lil Pab was gunned down in a Beverly Grove parking lot in broad daylight whilst pumping gas with Quando. But it gets worse. Just months later, newly unsealed documents connected Durk to a second murder-for-hire investigation, this time in his own hometown. The January 2022 killing of Stefan Mack outside the Youth Peace Center of Roseland in Chicago is under federal review, with officials claiming that this was in retaliation for the death of Durk's brother D. Theng. Durk has pleaded not guilty to all charges and remains behind bars awaiting trial. If convicted, he faces life in prison, or in the worst case, the death penalty.